Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to change your front and rear shock towers out on your Traxxas 2-wheel drive vehicle. I'm going to be using my Gravedigger Stampede here to switch them out on, but this will also work on your 2-wheel drive Rustler / and Bandit and Nitro Stampede. They're all the same on those. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to show you the reason why I'm swapping these out. Now, one reason why I'm changing these out is you can see the shock screw right there is backing out. I keep having that problem. And then the other thing is these body mounts keep coming loose. And then if we move to the back here, you can see that shock mount screw, it's doing the same thing. After one run of tightening them up, they backed right out. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to replace the shock towers on the front and rear just to solve that problem. And like I said, the RPM ones are stronger, so that's why we're going with those. First thing we're going to do is remove the shock cap screws here. On the shock mount, that's the only screws in the front we got to do. The rest of them are on the back to get them out. So let's go ahead and we're going to take these out here. And that's what it'll look like when you got those screws taken out. So we're going to go ahead and flip it around and take the other screws out. Now we got two more screws we're going to have to take out on each side. This I'm going to do off camera because it's going to be hard to get to them on camera. But you got your camber link right there. You got to take that screw out. And then there's another screw right down there. Now we're going to go ahead and take these four screws off for the bracing here. Now that we got the camber screws and the bottom mount screws out, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this back right here. We got a mount screw right there and a mount screw right there for the body mounts. We're going to go ahead and take those off. You can grab this and tilt it, and that'll start to get that shock tower out of the lip. There we go. Now we should be able to, sorry I'm hitting the camera here, pop that right off, and there's that lip that you have to get that goes right up into the bulkhead down here. So let's go ahead and get the new one installed. Now we got a quick little look here at the difference between the RPM and the Traxxas. Got the Traxxas one on the left and the RPM on the right. And then we'll flip them around. And you can see what RPM does different on it. Now to reinstall, you just reverse the process. We're going to go ahead and get that down in there. Pull back on this a little bit to get some tension. To get that back down. And then that pops right back into place. And that's what it'll look like on each side when you got your caster screw and mounting screw back in the bottom. You can see on the other side, you got the one right there and right there. So next, let's go ahead and put the bracing back on. As always, I put them back in with the drill, but I don't go all the way, and then I get my screwdriver out to go the rest of the way so I don't strip them out. Now that we got the backside all buttoned up, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to remount our shocks here and get those lined up and put in. Now that we got the front shocks done, all we got left to do is put the body mount back on. Now this is what it looks like with the front all done. So let's go ahead and we'll move to the back. Now the back's the same way. We're going to go ahead and undo the shocks. Man, that one was barely in there. It's a good thing we're changing these. Now that we got the shocks on, there's two screws. There's one right here and then one behind the transmission. I'm going to take those out. That way I can lift the shock tower up and it'll give me more clearance to get to these camber bolts, or screws, sorry, and get those out. On the front of the tower, in between the ECS plate, there's a screw down there. And another screw right down there that's hiding underneath right there. We're going to have to go ahead and get those out, and then we can lift that tower up to get the camber screws out. Now that those 4 screws are out, we can just go ahead and lift up on that, and that gives us easier access here to take out these camber screws. Now I just got to disconnect my motor wires, go into the ESC, pull those back through. Now we got those out. We just got to undo these 4 screws here and take the body mount off and transfer it all to the new one. Now here's another comparison. Got the Traxxas on the left, RPM on the right. You can get an idea of the differences. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these screws here over to this to make it easier, so I could just drop it back down and tighten them back up. And that's what we'll do next. Okay, I got my screws set back in, and then I got my body mount here mounted back up. Now what this is going to do when I drop it down, it's going to make it easier to get the screws in down there instead of trying to fish the screws through. That's why I'm doing that. So, and another thing I want to show you guys real quick, if you're wondering what these wires are, this truck does have neon lights underneath it. I had to change some stuff out and I didn't reconnect them, but I left the wires there in case I ever do want to hook the neon lights back up. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to run my wires through the tower so we can hook those up later. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these caster blocks hooked back, or not caster, camber links hooked back up. Now we got those links set back up, we can just go ahead, get this lined up here, move it back down, get our screwdriver, and start tightening up the 4 screws that mount it down. Now that we got our shock tower all mounted up, all we got to do is mount our shocks back up, and then we'll be done. Now all we got to do is get our motor hooked back up here, and we're finished. And that's all there is to mounting up new shock towers to your Traxxas Stampede or other Traxxas 2-wheel drive vehicles. As always, I'll leave links down below to Amazon in case you ain't got a hobby store by you to pick these up, so you can just click on those and order those up from Amazon. Well, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.